Hey guys. So I ended up going with the Sony, and I'm going to explain why and the reasoning behind my choices on that one. And just a quick note, if you guys notice I'm a little off, this is like my 6th video I've shot today. I don't normally do this many takes. My camera's been screwing up. It's almost 78 degrees in here because I have to have the AC off. I'm a little off, so I apologize just starting out, okay? But I've been real lax on getting these videos shot. You know, it's taken me forever to get the PV16 Ultra videos done, so I know I'm behind the ball here, but I'm working on it. So anyway, why did I go with the Sony over the Oppo? You know, I'd asked you guys what you guys thought I would go with, and the obvious answer would be Oppo. Right? The 203 is a very good player. It does a lot of good things. And I don't disagree with that option. I think it's a great option. I think it makes a lot of sense. But a lot of the stuff I've been reviewing and I will be reviewing has been higher end. And not that I have anything against that or anything like that. I think it's great to be able to afford to do higher end stuff and all that stuff. But a lot of my viewers are on a budget just like I am personally. So I thought it would serve the majority of my audience better to talk about this player versus the Oppo, because there's a lot of people that have a hard time, you know, spending $1,000 on a set of good dual subs. So the idea of spending twice as much on a Blu-ray player is also an issue, right? So I wanted to kind of, you know, that's one of the reasons. The other reason is the Dolby Vision versus HDR thing. Now, if I watch a movie on Vudu, because right now Sony does not offer Dolby Vision, it only does HDR. My TV, on the other hand, is an LG 65 UH-8500. So 65 inch, it's 4K, it's 3D, it does HDR, and it does Dolby Vision. So it does all of it. So it's a pretty unique TV. There's nothing really like it on the market right now because they got rid of all the 3D TVs, which I'm kind of annoyed by. It's you know, people are saying, oh, 3D is dead and all that stuff, and you know, that's fine. I don't really think it is, but hopefully they'll bring it back because it's a fun thing to have. It's not something that I watch every day, but when I do watch it, it's an extra dimension of home theater that's fun. So for me, it was worth spending, I don't know, probably the extra $300 at the time on the TV to have 3D. It made sense. So right now, I mean, all the 4K players, as I understand it, they all play 3D. They're still producing 3D discs, so 3D is still out there except for the televisions, right? You can even get 3D projectors. That's still out there, but for some reason, you know, television makers decided to call it quits. But hopefully they'll come to their senses and start making them again. Anyway, so this TV will play Dolby Vision. So it would have made sense for me to go with the Oppo because it's going, you know, it does Dolby Vision and I've got a Dolby Vision TV, right? Makes sense. And I agree. The Oppo would not have been a bad choice. But one of the things this actual setup allows me to do is I can watch Netflix on the Sony and get the HDR version and then watch the Dolby Vision on the LG app and actually get some A/B done. So I can really decide how much better Dolby Vision is over HDR. And you know, just like anything, there are going to be some movies that are mastered better in HDR than they are in Dolby Vision. I mean, that can happen. But generally speaking, Dolby Vision is typically a little bit better. So not having Dolby Vision at this moment allows me to actually go back and forth and actually try these things out. So that's another plus. You know, being half the price is another plus. And it's a very, you know, it's a stable player. I've had to unplug it once, but it's not super glitchy. The LG app is more stable, I would say, but I think that's going to be true of pretty much any player out there. But generally speaking, it works as it should. Annoyingly, you know, I did the video on how to get Atmos on your Blu-ray player to go through, and sure enough, as you go through the audio settings, all right, the BD audio mix setting was on. So what that means is when you run it through your player, you are not going to get Dolby True HD, DTSX, DTS Master, or Dolby True HD. All that stuff you won't get as long as this setting's on. So I had to turn that off, so that's kind of annoying. Otherwise, everything was good. So, you know, it's just, you got to watch for that if you guys are getting a Blu-ray player and you're trying to get Atmos going, or even just, you know, the lossless formats like True HD and DTS Master. Trust me, they sound a lot better. It's just one of those annoying things. It's like a secret handshake you got to know to make it work. So, and I think personally it's well worth it in that case to get it working. But overall, you know, I'm really liking this player. And the other thing too is, you know, I'll be able to move it into another room if I get a different 4K player. So the Oppo 203 is not off the table. I do think it's a very good player. I think it makes a lot of sense. But I wanted to evaluate the Sony because from what I've seen, it's a very solid player, and I think it's a pretty smart player in terms of it making a lot of sense. But I can move this later and actually get the Oppo or something like that. So this isn't my forever 4K player, but I definitely wanted to check it out and go through everything. And again, it does 3D, it does all the good stuff with it. So it's pretty nice. In terms of Dolby Vision versus HDR, you know, again, the differences as you get better and better are harder to spot. And one thing I can tell you is that if I came into a room that was playing HDR, I wouldn't say, oh, well, this definitely isn't Dolby Vision. So if that gives you some idea of how big of a difference it is, I wouldn't miss it. It is nice having it. I like watching it on the LG app. I like seeing, you know, just a little bit better. You know, it's nice. I'm not discounting it. What I am saying is, not having it is not, it's not ruining my experience. It's just, it's a nice extra if you can kind of thing. So that's where I'm at with that. I think it's, you know, the Dolby Vision option, I think it's very good. I think there's about a 35% chance that Sony will get smart and add Dolby Vision to this player. I think it would make a lot of sense. I think it would make this Blu-ray player a real force to be reckoned with. You know, I looked at the LG and I was really wanting to go LG because the TV's already an LG. Why not have the same brand? But the reviews were not so good on that. They had kind of a rough start. And maybe they'll work it all out and it'll be a perfect player. I don't know. But I do know that the reviews on the Sony were quite good. And from what I can see, it makes a lot of sense. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with the Blu-ray player. I'm curious what you guys think. If you think I made a good choice or if I just totally screwed up by not getting the Oppo. But again, it's not off the table. I think the Oppo is a very good player. I think it makes a lot of sense. There's some extra added benefits to the Oppo too that I haven't even gone into. But, and again, there's the other point too that, yeah, you can get Dolby Vision on Vudu and you can get, you know, Dolby Vision on Netflix and stuff like that. But here's another thing. It's kind of annoying. This is another good mark for the Sony. The Oppo, as I understand it, at least at this point, doesn't have the streaming features added yet. I think they plan to, but they don't have it yet. So that's one reason I went with this as well, is because I can actually test between Dolby Vision by switching between the LG app and the Sony. But the other thing is, because of this TV is a 2016 model, some of the newer TVs, as I understand it, will actually allow you to pass Atmos from the TV app to the amplifier, which I think is awesome. I think that's the way it should have been in the beginning. I, on the other hand, cannot. I cannot get Atmos from a TV app into my amplifier. If you guys know of a way, awesome, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. But as it sits, I can only get DDS2 or something like that. I can't even get True HD or DTS Master. It's all just kind of, it's not great. So if I want to watch a movie, I have to, if I would have had the Oppo, the only way to watch a movie on Vudu would, you know, I'd be through the TV and I wouldn't get the Atmos. Now, if I had to choose, I would choose Atmos every time over Dolby Vision. So that's kind of another reason, not a huge reason, but not having the streaming apps yet. I mean, again, in 6 months, my opinion may change drastically. But as of now, it just seemed like a good player to check out for now, check out for my viewers, and let you guys know what I think. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. I like it. It's a pretty good player. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I apologize for being so intermittent on videos. Again, we've had this heat wave going, all this other stuff. My camera, I don't even know if this video is going to be good. My camera's been acting up. My phone's been acting up. It's been freezing up for stupid reasons. Apparently there's a mic thing that's bad, so I have to get it all switched out and all this other stuff. So just stupid stuff that I shouldn't even have to deal with. But anyway, that's kind of what's happening. So anyway, I'm trying to get back on a regular schedule, get everything kind of going again. It's just been hit and miss lately, and not really for good reasons. So, but anyway, thanks guys for watching, and please subscribe.